So what is up, everybody? It's me. Wait for it! True Starscreamer. And we are here with yet another G.I. Joe Classified series review. And we are looking at the Tiger Force version of David L. Bazooka Katzenbogen. We're looking at Bazooka here. Katzenbogen. That's a nice Irish Catholic name right there. Anyway, I digress. What we've got here is, well, from Target, who gave me a label over my favorite artwork on the box, so works me. Side art's pretty good though, and I like that it's got, we'll give them the Tiger Force colors. This is number 54, and that's really all that's important about this box. So we are here to talk about toys. Bazooka was never one of my favorite of the Joes. I actually thought he was rather annoying in the cartoon, to be honest, but he's kind of a staple. But this figure, this is a pretty neat figure. It, as always, has things I like, things I don't care for. Part of it is in his design, part of it's in his decor, part of it's kind of in his character, and part of it is in, believe it or not necessarily the accessories, but kind of the lack thereof. And we'll get to that in a second. And remember, guys, with one of my reviews, every time you hear an take a shot. This is a, as they call it, a pre-color of Bazooka in the Tiger Force colors. He normally is supposed to be in a Patriots jersey, but this is kind of more of some say the inverted colors. Me, because I grew up in Huntsville, Alabama, this man's an Auburn fan. And I don't know the significance of the 14, I'll be honest. But part of the t-shirt and part of the body design is one of my criticisms to this. Also, as you can see, his legs are kind of awkward. It's weird. It's like the way the boot swivel is and all, it just doesn't quite seem natural. Let's kind of go over the accessories. Well, take off the backpack and kind of look over everything here. We'll put Bazooka off to the side. His backpack is pretty neat. The Bazooka hangs from it, which is awesome. The Bazooka is two colors. Always, I would like more. The back actually can come off. I guess this is when they actually fire a bazooka, and when they fire one, after the rocket goes, maybe you can remove the shell. I don't know this. I am not a military man. He does carry 4 shells with him. The backpack is a single color. As always, I would love to have more color, kind of like in the Recondo bag, but we got the two on there. Bringing Bazooka back, he has a removable helmet. And he's got a floating belt, which, I'll be honest, I mean, again, I like the fact that it's painted. I like this a lot. I really do. I wouldn't have minded, though, if this was painted. And I would have used this accessory count for a leg harness and a pistol. And that's one of my criticisms here. Poor Bazooka here got his bazooka, which is great for taking out a tank. And great for, well, long distance combat. Though if you if you knew me in my old Quake days, I used to say the rocket launcher is a close combat weapon. But once he fires off his 4 shots, he's kinda useless. So I would have really liked for him to not have this, but to have a holster and a pistol, so he can actually do some stuff. Plus the belt kind of floats away. His face sculpt I absolutely love. Someone had mentioned it on another review, I think in the comments section. His face looks like Don Fry. If you don't know who Don Fry is, he is actually he is one of the original mixed martial art fighters. He was in some horrible movies, including Godzilla Final Wars. But if you ever look up his fights, Don Fry he could kill you. So me comparing Bazooka to Don Fry is not a bad thing. In fact, if you look up a young Don Fry, he could have played Bazooka in a live-action movie. It's kind of cool. He's got guns, that's for sure. So that's pretty neat. He does have our butterfly joint, which is akin to all G.I. Joe figures. Neck is on the double barbell. One thing that is interesting is both his hands are the up and down hinge. Normally, one is up and down, the other one is in and out. Which, I'm not sure. I haven't had a chance to really pose him around with the Bazooka yet, so we'll see how that goes. But I find that interesting, that he has two up and down hinges. His body does not have the usual torso, he doesn't have the usual ab crunch. He's got the ball joint, which normally would have me thrilled. I mean, again, up and down, this is fine. You see the 14 here is fine. But as soon as you start to twist it, it breaks up the 14. If this was just a plain red shirt, I'd be all for this. Or a plain white shirt, I'd, again, be all for this. And this is a total cosmetic criticism. And again, up and down, that's great. I think this was originally designed for that. But with the ball joint, it kind of loses it. Love the sleeves, on the t-shirt sleeves. He's got his wristbands, which are great, and the pants are that subtle Tiger Force coloring, which, again, with the rest of the team, with the exception of, you know what, I'm calling him Tony. I don't care. I'm calling him Tony. And if you watched my Duke review with the Ram Cycle, you know why I'm calling him Tony. With the exception of Tony's pants, this guy looks great. We'll probably bring them all out a little later. Let me get him geared up again, and we'll talk about some of the posability. So this is pretty much the money shot right here. I've got the shell partially coming out of it. I could probably put some cotton in there to make it look like it's launching from here. But one thing, this definitely takes it, to get this pose, you have to take advantage of all the G.I. Joe classified articulation. I am using the, you can see here, I should probably have been using the rotating stand for this, but I'm using the drop down hip to get this angle on here. We've got the ankle, the boot swivel on here. One thing I want to point out, his foot, getting that ankle rocker, that's actually one of the best ankle rockers I have seen from any of the classified. This is actually probably the best, one of the most stable kneeling poses I have done with a figure. And whoever designed Bazooka, I get their vision. I totally get their vision. He's using both those roll the dice hands to get his hands like this position. I did have to pull the hand out just slightly to get a little more of an angle on here. With the Bazooka itself, you want to put the strap inside, the shoulder strap inside his arm, and that gives you the grip. And once I got this sweet spot, this is stable. This is beautifully stable. This is a great display for this guy on your shelf. So, honestly, I have no faults with this whatsoever with his design. With the rocket, it is tight in there. So when I pulled, actually I had pushed the rocket all the way into the Bazooka. I couldn't get it out. I had to use actually the dowel here to push it out. Not a big deal. Not a complaint at all. In fact, I'd rather have that happen than chance losing the rocket on there. So this is very stable, and you know, structurally I have no issues with this at all. Bazooka by himself, great solid figure. I had one subjective criticism with the shirt interacting with the chest joint, and the fact that I wouldn't have minded that belt being replaced with a holster, but as a character setting on the shelf, he is going to look fantastic. And here is Bazooka with the rest of the boys here. And this looks like a solid unit. I mean, again, they've got their fatigues are similarly themed. Their coloring is pretty good. They look uniform. This looks like a cohesive unit that kind of knows what they're going. You know, these guys look great together. All it would take would be like some oddball just like kind of ruining it all. You know, like Mr. I've got tiger pants! Okay, that was stupid. But, okay, jokes aside, here is the entire Tiger Force lineup. And, okay, I was making fun of Tony's pants here, but altogether, they actually look pretty good. Though I have to say, my gosh, I know Duke is one of the first, you know, the Series 1 Bucks. He is just small compared to the squad. You know, I had my own personal canon thing of him. You know, these guys have been together in the jungle, and they send Tony here to be their commanding officer, who's all book smart and such. Yeah, I kind of see it here even more. I mean, he just looks younger than the rest of these guys. I mean, I have to say, when I get all four of these together, Outback is still my favorite. It goes Outback, Recondo, Bazooka, Duke. Yeah, I called him Duke. But as a unit... Okay, so I'm dropping this this edit in the middle of the review because I just was doing this after I finished filming. And I took some photos. I'm like, you know what? Bazooka kinda looks good with the gun. And so I took the shot, and the shot looked great. In fact, I thought it looked really, really good. And then it hit me. You know, one of my top criticisms about Duke, aside from the cosmetics, is the fact, you know, he's got no place for this rifle. And I didn't even put Duke holding the gun because, oh dear lord, it's right there with Breaker. It wasn't right. But Bazooka here, he's got the muscle mass that's meant to carry a cannon like this. Secondly, the way his backpack is with having the bazooka on the back, that makes sense for him to be riding the bike having both hands free. He can ride the ram to where he needs to go to get to a vantage point to fire his 4 shots and then get the hell out of there. This, I think, should have been the ram package. Again, would have been a great one shot, and yeah, I think Duke probably could have sold by himself as a Tiger Force repaint. But this... Dude, Hasbro, this is what you should have done. In fact, even his hands with the up and down swivels, that holds the gun so much better. It's just so much more natural. And then finally, the gun being, you know, front heavy and the backpack making him back heavy, this balances out beautifully. So, yeah, I like this better. Oh, and did we mention he's wearing a helmet? Yeah. Bazooka, you are meant for the ram. Yeah, Duke, sorry, Tony, you've been demoted off ram duty now. Wow, I'm loving this. This is a very good, this right here is a very good setup. I have no regrets in buying all 4 of these pieces. I think this is, in general, the Tiger Force project, call it what you will, this is a success. 3 pre-colors, which, again, we should be getting these. 1 recolor who's not that essential per se, but as an exclusive set, yeah. I mean, I kind of wouldn't be upset if Hasbro had released this as a box set, but we're not going to talk about Hasbro and box sets right now. Distribution has been decent with these guys. This was a whole lot better than the initial Viper Island. So, again, solid recommendation on Bazooka. In general, a solid recommendation on the Tiger Force as well. But tell me what you guys think. You know, this is... I read these comments. Someone had posted a great question on the Recondo review. They had mentioned that if he was just a reuse of the Dr. Mindbender head, which for a second I thought he was, but no, that is a separate face sculpt. So again, thank you so much for that question. That was a great one. If you guys got these, tell me what you think. if you guys were on the fence of these, tell me why. You know, leave us some comments down below. If you guys like this video, of course, give us a like. And as always, if you're new here, give us a subscribe. As I love to say, more stuff is on the horizon. So, hope you guys enjoyed. And until next time, please take care. Peace.